Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of P&R Communications Tech Tips. My name is Don Humphrey, and today we're going to talk a little bit about intrinsically safe radios. Now, when I say intrinsically safe, I'm talking about a radio that's authorized to be used in flammable or explosive environments. I'm a radio expert, not a flammability expert or explosives expert. So you're going to have to trust me that I'm going to show you some things about what environments Motorola radios are rated to be in. But at the end of the day, your local AHJ or authority having jurisdiction or your safety personnel at where you work are going to determine whether the type of radio that's intrinsically safe is required for your organization or for your facility. So let's take a look real quick and just talk a little bit about the National Electric Code, which is in this portion's based on the NFPA or National Fire Protection Association document 70. And it shows us classes, class 1, class 2, class 3, about flammable gases, vapors, or liquids, combustible, dust, area classification, division 1, division 2, where we're talking about ignitable gas, vapor, liquid, or dust, are present continuously, or division 2, where they are not likely to exist under normal operating conditions. And then you can see below Class 1 gas groups, A through D, Class 2 dust groups, E through G. So these are the things that your safety people or the authority having jurisdiction over your type of facility, these are the type of things that they're going to be looking at to decide if your facility needs to have intrinsically safe radios inside. In other words, they're not going to trust just a normally non-rated radio to be used in your facility because some of these conditions on this slide, some of these conditions exist, and they want some peace of mind to know that the radio that you're carrying on your hip day in and day out is not going to become an ignition source in any of these environments. And that's really the important thing to keep in mind, is that we just don't want this radio to be the cause, to be an ignition source to create any hazards for you, for your facility, or for others. And so Motorola produces intrinsically safe radios. Now, you may have seen in the past the older green dot radios, which were the old FM certified radios, FM for factory mutual. FM has gone away now, and Motorola has switched to white dot UL listed. That's Underwriters Labs listed radios. And I'm going to pull up a picture here and show you. So this is the bottom of the first radio, or the second radio that I showed you that had the white dot on it. And we can see that it talks about the model of the radio. And if you look real close there, it talks about the hazardous location, Division 1, Class 1, Group C and D, Class 2, Group E and F, and G, Class 3. So it lists all the environments from that NFPA document that this radio is rated to be used in. And you can also see that intrinsically safe when used with Motorola battery, and it gives you the actual model number of the battery that that makes this radio as a package, quote unquote, intrinsically safe. So what that means to you is that my radio, to maintain intrinsically safe, I've got to use the battery that's listed on this sticker with this radio as a package Those two together make this radio an intrinsically safe UL listed radio. Now, if I take this battery off and I replace it with a different model battery, I've got one right here. You can see there's no white dot on the bottom. You can see the label is different. It's white with black lettering versus the black with white lettering. The model number, the model numbers of the batteries do not match. This one does not match the bottom of the radio that says the battery that should be used. When I put this on here right now, this is not an intrinsically safe radio anymore because I do not have an intrinsically safe battery with the intrinsically safe radio. So batteries are very important. You have to use the listed battery with the listed radio in order for this package put together to be listed as an intrinsically safe device. So the other thing is once you enter into those areas, those Division 1 Class 2, Division 2 Class 3, all those areas that it says that this is rated for, when you're in those areas, you cannot take this battery off to swap batteries in the field. Okay, now if let's say for example I'm in a refinery. Now if I go into a control room that is not a classified area because I am inside of an explosion-proof facility, there you can pull the battery on, put it off. Again, refer to your own safety people. I don't want to say something that may violate a protocol that you have in place. But if I'm out in the wind in a refinery and I'm in one of those Division 1 Class 2 areas, then do not remove your battery because these are your battery contacts right here in the yellow area. And they made up with those copper pads there. So just removing this battery and slapping a new battery in could become the ignition source. So you have to use the right radio with the right battery. Now, Motorola has discontinued the last version of intrinsically safe radio platform, which was this green dot guy here. And this is a different radio platform. Some Apex radios, the Apex 6000 series, also came in a green dot or factory mutual FM model. Green dot is gone. Factory mutual is gone. And what that means to you is that I can continue to use this factory mutual radio and it will still be classified for use in those hazardous areas, those Div 1, Class 2, whatever areas, as long as I do not send this radio in and get it repaired, and the repair actually has to separate the housing from the case of the radio. If I have to crack this open to do a repair, and this is a factory mutual green label, green dot radio, then this radio is no longer certified from that day forward, is no longer certified to operate in an environment that requires an intrinsically safe radio. Important thing to remember. Now, we do have some customers who we will still repair those radios for, and then those radios get clearly marked, and the customer is clearly notified that those radios are no longer for use in those explosive areas. So they will mark those radios out and maybe use them in an office that's outside of the explosive area to where those Div 1 Class 2 certifications are important to them. We have firefighter radios. So a lot of times you see firefighter radios will be intrinsically safe. Obviously, since they're going into explosive environments, you don't want your radio to be that ignition source. I have had a few firefighter radios, some Apex radios that have come in that were green dot, that were FM, and they've gone ahead and had those radios repaired, and then they've also marked those quite with bright tape or paint or whatever they do. so that that radio is no longer a frontline radio. It can be an office radio. It can be a command vehicle radio, something that's not going into an explosive environment. Now, the second important thing to remember about FM radios is that Motorola no longer repairs these radios whatsoever. Anybody that's repairing these is a third party. So those are not getting Motorola repairs, period, moving forward. So I want to bring up another slide just so we kind of the takeaways that I want you to remember the most about what we've talked about here with intrinsically safe radios. So the green dot FM radios are no longer able to be repaired and keep their FM rating. When we send them out to a third party to get them repaired, or if we repair them ourselves, we remove any of the FM stickers from them so that it's clearly marked and clearly known to you by looking at the radio that it's no longer certified for use anywhere that intrinsically safe device is required. Another thing to keep in mind is the white dot UL batteries and green dot FM batteries, they're not interchangeable. Now, I've got a refinery customer that has Moto Turbo XPR 7000 series portables, and some of those 7000 series portables were purchased during the green dot days, the FM days, and everything new that they've been purchasing since 2015 are white dot or Underwriters Laboratories UL listed radios. So you cannot take that green dot battery, slap it on a white dot radio, and that does not work. It is no longer an intrinsically safe platform when you do that. So if it's a UL listed radio, it has to have the proper UL listed battery. If it's an FM radio, it has to have the proper FM listed battery. And both the Factory Mutual and the Underwriters Laboratory certification requires the use of Motorola OEM batteries. So don't be caught up by anybody out there. If you find something on the internet, find something on eBay, and they say it's an aftermarket green market or green dot Factory Mutual battery. If that battery's been remanufactured, if it is not new in the box, or just a battery that's already been in service with your organization, don't trust it. But any third-party battery that claims any type of certification for intrinsically safe, that is false, because Motorola does all their testing and all their certification based on a battery radio platform. Now, there may be some models of radios that have various sizes of batteries that will certify with that radio, but Motorola radio, Motorola battery has to be together in the proper configuration in order for your radio to be intrinsically safe. So hopefully I've shed a little bit of light on the world of intrinsically safe radios. If you have any questions, please go to our website at pnrcommunications.com, and you will find a contact us link there. We can have a sales professional or a technical professional contact you and answer any questions that you may have. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, family, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know how we're doing. Leave me some comments below. Looking forward to engaging with you, and please, as always, tune in again for the next edition of PNR Communications Tech Tips. Thank you.